everyone, welcome to my shop. My name is Steve. Today I was working on my Bridgeport, and I went over to a place nearby that handles used equipment, and just kind of browsing through their all their stuff. I mean, they got a ton of stuff. If I think of it, I'll put their link how to get a hold of them. But while I was there, I stumbled across this riser, a 4-inch riser for my Bridgeport. Well, I thought that's something that might come in handy, even if I don't put it on right away, because I didn't really have any jobs that needed it at the time. But I went ahead and bought it, took it home, brought it back to the shop, sandblasted it, cleaned it up, and got some more paint to match what I painted the old Betsy here. The epoxy paint that I sprayed this with had gone bad. The can leaked. Don't store that epoxy paint where it can leak, because I never guessed that it would leak, but it leaked out the bottom of the can and did some damage. So I'm just leery of epoxy paint cans leaking. Anyway, I bought it, and it came with the spider. Yeah, these 4 bolts and this spider that came with it. Well, I thought, okay, got everything I need, right? Well, wrong. Turns out I don't need the spider. Turns out the bolts are the wrong bolts. These are for something else entirely, I guess, because they're the wrong size. I believe these are 5/8, and our Bridgeport uses the 1/2 inch. So I went online. I thought, well, and I first called my local hardware store to see if they would possibly have a 10-inch long, 1/2 inch, 1/2 10-inch long bolt. No bolt. So I looked online. I found 7 of them, odd number, but I found 7 for about $20 on eBay. So I thought, well, I could order those. Then I looked at them under, you can exaggerate the picture and look at it close up, and it just looked like it had the standard head on it. Well, the heads on the Bridgeport, this is the original bolt that came out of it. They've got a 1/2 inch head, and the end of the bolt is tapered, so it can help center to get the start. So it starts in this part here. Well, you can see this one on mine. The thread, this is threaded. On this spider they gave me, the holes are just drilled out. So I don't know how that's supposed to work. Must be for a different kind of a application. So I looked around. I found a piece of, I had about a 4-foot length of 3/4 hex rod, cold roll. So I said, that's what we're going to do. We're going to make 4 new bolts for old Betsy here. So you want to tag along and watch the threading process. We're going to single point cut the threads on the lathe and make our heads on the bolts or cut them off. And pretty simple, not a big deal, but I'll bring you along and show you how we do it. All right.
angle at 15 degrees.
Set this at 29 and a half. Looks good. Okay. All right, now what I'm trying to do now is get the tool post lined up so that get the thread cutting tool in there. So we're going to move this back a little bit this way. Okay, let's go this way now. And we're climbing. Okay. See where that puts us now. We're dropping. We're still climbing, so let's go down a little bit more. 80. Looks like it's pretty good. About 1 thou. Let's see. Yes, get overkill here. There we go. That's probably too much now. There we go. Solid. Okay. Put that away. And we'll put our tool. And double check our cutter depth here, or cutter height, I should say. I'll call that good. All right. And on this particular lathe, the way the cutter gearing works is we've got to hit any numbered line. Okay, so let's see. Threads. There's half 13. So let's check our numbers again. A and C. Everything's set there. Let's slow it down. Better. Cross feed to 0. Numbered line. Number 1. Okay. Our pattern. Good. Thread cotton oil. Let me see if you guys got a good view. Come around over here. A little fuzzy. Take our first cut. Cross feed. Start up. 0. All right. Let's try that one more time. Come into 0 here. There we go. And we should be ready to go. Number 3. There we go. Now we're cutting. spring pass over this one. Not take any more depth. Check our threads. Okay. Fit right there. Feel any movement? No wiggle. I'll call that good. Okay. On to the next step. Points that just underneath that looks good. Okay, so I want to zero my travel dial here, and we'll go in 125. That puts us at 0. Go in another half an inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's half inch. Okay. So just about all the way I want to go there. Now, a couple things I want to do next, and that's take it up a little bit. Okay, just want to hit those there, just round that up and up here. Actually, to do now is this cutter on. Bring it in right in the middle here. Just kiss these corners here. Like that. And I'm a little hesitant to chop that thing all the way off with the parting tool. Some sticking out so far. So I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way here. And let's see, take the tension off the support. There we go. Okay. Stock out. Gently come down on it. I think I've got it running pretty true. Yep. We'll call that true. Call that good. All right. Okay. So there's our new bolt. 10-inch overall length. 9.5 without the head. I'm just going to touch it with a wire wheel and clean up the rust on there and soften the threads a little bit, and this screw will be ready to go on the machine. All right, check 1, 2. All right. Okay, I took it out, ran a half 13 die over the threads, and as I suspected, I took a little bit off of one or both sides. I'm not sure what cleaned it up, but it did. It is going in now nice. The single point could have been off just a little bit. There we go. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I wanted to show you how I picked all this up in order to put this riser in here. I got a 4-inch riser in my Bridgeport, and it's kind of a delicate operation. Well, my building is got high ceilings, right at 14 feet, but I added this second floor in here And I put these tracks up above. I don't know if you can see those. Let me just kind of run the camera back here. I don't have to be in the picture, do I? Anyway, you can see the rafters up there, and then there's a track over there, and then there's a middle track, and then there's a third track over here. And then on those tracks I've got the double tracks. I made double tracks from the same material as the top tracks, and secured those together, and then hung my Harbor Freight winch on there. Actually, it's I believe that one came from Rural King, but managed to pick this thing up. A little skeptical as to whether or not the hoists were strong enough, and my tracks were strong enough. But this is doubled over, so I've got double the cable strength, and so I simply just came over and put an eye bolt in here and attach the hook like so on there with an eye bolt there, and then on the front over here I used a strap to go around here and hook the chain in there, and I had a piece of oh, here it is. I cut it's just a piece of decking, a plastic decking that they make with old milk bottles, and made a little shoe to fit right there. And then when I brought the winch in, actually I've got two winches, one for either end, so this hooked together like that, and that's basically how I raised it. But I didn't want all the load centered on these two here, so before I picked it up, I turned it 90 degrees to space out my lift. So if I loosen these up here, okay, and take this loose over here. There we go. There we go. So now this should just swing around like that. So when I picked it up, I was spaced approximately 4 or 5 feet apart. So I was able to stretch the load over the space of the beams that are the floor joists that are up there, and it went off without any hitch at all. It just lifted just perfectly. Just pushed both buttons together, raised it up together, and it lifted it right off with no effort at all. And then I was able to slide it over out of the way and just set the new riser in place here. Now one of the things that there's a little trick to that when you turn it this way and you take those 4 bolts loose, the spider that's inside of there, if you look, these holes are farther apart than these holes are. So when you turn that, the spider turns with it, and the supports that hold this in place when you're putting it in other words, when you put it together, it has to be facing this way, straight on. So your spider has to sit inside this base here, resting on 4 little dogs that are inside of there. There's 4 little shelves that hold this in place, so you can drop the screws, the bolts in. Well, that works fine when you don't have the spacer in there. But when you got the spacer in there, it's a little bit farther away, it's a little harder to line up and everything. And I was trying to put it back together thinking, oh yeah, I can just put that in there, set it in there, and try to drop the bolts in there. Well, the bolts won't line up because it's actually turned 90 degrees out of phase with the ram up there. So what you have to do is